You may have noticed that everybody's talking about note investing, but there is a downside, and I'm going to talk about that right now. Hi, I'm Desiree, professional investor, and I invest in mortgage notes all around the country, but I want to talk to you about something that nobody's talking about, and that is the downside. You know, I have people that reach out to me all the time and they say, Desi, I've just learned about note investing and it sounds almost too good to be true, and I need to know what are the downsides for investing in notes. What's the risk, right? And so here's what I want to share with you guys. There are some problems that come with investing in notes, and there's a lot of nuances in it that you really do want to understand if you're going to pull the trigger on your first note deal. Now, one of the biggest downsides, in my opinion, for investing in notes is this. They're difficult to analyze, right? Most people know how to analyze a piece of real estate if they're about to buy it. Think about that. If you're going to go and buy a house, there's a whole process in place so that you can do your due diligence on that house to know exactly what you're buying, right? You bring over a home inspector, maybe you bring over an electrician and a plumber and people to check it out for you. But when you're buying a note, what do? One of the downsides is this. You can make a really bad decision when you buy the note if you don't know what to look for. So understanding the due diligence process at a deep level is really a downside of the note business, in my opinion. You see, you not only have to understand that you are using the real estate itself as collateral, but that you also need to embrace the reality that you're actually buying paper. You're not buying real estate, you're buying paper. And so you need to be able to read that paper and interpret it. And most of that paper was written by lawyers. If you don't understand those legal documents, then you don't really know what you're buying. And so you may need to hire someone who has skills at understanding legal documents to interpret it for you. But that is a downside. Another downside that I find with mortgage notes is this. Unlike traditional real estate that goes on forever as far as rental income, right? We call it forever income when you are a landlord, because as long as you own that house or that apartment building, you can collect rent. On a mortgage, once the borrower pays you off, you no longer have cash flow coming from that mortgage. And most mortgages don't run any longer than 30 years. And so if you have a 20 or 30 year mortgage, you're only going to collect payments for 20 or 30 years. After that, you no longer have the cash flow. And so it does require that you be a better manager of your money. And what do I mean by that? You've probably heard the old saying that you want to live off the interest, don't touch the principal. Well, in note investing, you better do that, because if you're spending the principal and the interest as it comes in, then you will not have any money left to replace that note if it gets paid off early or when the people pay you off at the end of the term. And so what I teach people is very simply this: don't touch the principal. Take the principal, set it aside. And when you have enough money set aside in principal, buy another note. And so then at that point, now you have two payments coming in every month. The original one plus the new payment coming in from the second note that you purchased. And now you have interest from both notes that you can use to support your lifestyle. But that's a drawback with notes. And the third thing that I want you to think about is this. With real estate, traditional real estate, you do in fact get a lot of tax benefits that to help reduce your taxable income, right? But with mortgage notes, there are no tax write-offs for you. And so your income is taxed as ordinary income. That means you're going to pay more taxes on the money that you make. So that's a drawback, a downside of investing in notes. Now, there are a lot of upsides to compensate for that, and you've probably heard about all of those, and I'm not going to go into those today. But those are three of the downsides that I see in note investing that nobody talks about. If you want to know more about how to compensate for these downsides, then what you'll want to do is reach out to me at investbrilliantly.com. That's my website, and I'll be happy to share with you my strategies for dealing with each of those downsides. There is a strategy. Understand this. There's a lot of people that have invested in notes long before you came along. So all of the challenges that are there are solutions for them. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The opportunity is still a fantastic opportunity, and you may find that it's a good fit for you. Or you might decide that you'll stick with traditional real estate. Doesn't really matter. The key is this. You always want to have a full understanding and appreciation for any investment that you're about to undertake. Does that make sense? I hope so, because if it doesn't make sense, then you shouldn't be investing in anything, okay? So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this information. Again, I'm Desi Arnaz, professional investor. God bless you, and I'll see you guys on the next video.